right, everybody, we are back with LorcanaCast, and this is a very special episode. So first off, we are going to do some interviews live from GenCon. Now, the first interview is going to be with Steve Warner, who is one of the co-designers of Lorcana, and this is a really short 5 questions interview. He was super busy, and we are so thankful for Ravensburger for giving us an opportunity to sit down, ask a couple questions, have some fun at the con. And then we have another interview with Liam from the Illumineers, just kind of talking about GenCon, some of the fun stuff, some of the Lorcana stuff, and just kind of having a good time. We meant to talk to other content creators, but to be honest, everyone was super busy. Everyone was off doing their own thing, and I also was very busy and sometimes forgot to bring the remote or the microphone. But we had a great time at GenCon, and after all these interviews, myself and Skeff are going to recap GenCon. We're going to talk about prices for singles, building decks, working on budgets, all kinds of cool stuff, as well as recapping our experience at GenCon. So welcome to LorcanaCast. We are so glad to have you, and let's jump right on in. All right, everybody, this is Sugi with LorcanaCast, and we are here at GenCon with a very special guest. We're going to be talking with Steve Warner for a very short interview, asking 5 questions about Disney's Lorcana. So how are you doing today, my friend?
Excellent. It's been an amazing convention.
All right, so let's just jump right in. I know time is limited, so our first question is, when you're singing a song in Lorcana, you have the opportunity to either play it for its ink cost, or you can sing it as an alternative casting cost, which allows you to exert a character equal to the value of the song, and then you can basically play that song without using ink in your inkwell. So the question is, like, when you were designing that alternative casting cost, what inspired that ability, that action, that point in which you said, hey, we could have this card do 2 things at the same time?
So I got to give a lot of credit here to Ryan Miller, because he came to me one day and early on in the design, and he told me, singing is such an iconic aspect of Disney movies, and characters in those movies sing all the time. And he really wanted to make sure that we had something that iconic and that Disney feeling in the game. And so we discussed possibilities, and there was some different avenues that we had opportunity to try out and we weren't quite as happy with. And then we tried this one, and there was some slight tweaks to it, but it made it fun for 2 reasons. One, as I said, singing in Disney franchise is always a huge thing. But 2, it allowed you to imagine different characters singing a song. And so thinking about Scar singing Part of Your World is hilarious. Yeah. And you kind of have to hear it when you're like, I'm going to have Scar sing Part of Your World. So. All
right. So our next question is pretty simple. Whenever people are designing games in general, there is a top-down and bottom-up design feature. So for those who don't know, top-down is theme-focused. Bottom-up is mechanical-focused. So when you're working on designing cards or abilities or whatever, are you top-down or bottom-up?
For Lorcana, especially, we think that it's important to be top-down. Mm. The thematics of the character really matter because it needs to feel and remind you of that character. So we very much go from top-down. There are times where we'll need certain mechanics in the game, and we'll find a character that works for that, and then continue to build from top-down. But it's always the thematics that really matter.
Okay, very cool. All right, question number 3. When you look at other trading card games, usually there's some kind of a identity. So Magic's a great example. There's color identity, color pie, Pokemon, you have different colors, so on and so forth. So in Lorcana, there are 6 specific inks. So what sparked the idea for those 6 colors?
We wanted to make sure that there were options, especially in deck building. And we felt that having 5 options was just going to be too few and create a lot of sameness in some of that case. We came up with the idea of going to 6, and we kind of planned out what each one would sort of feel and what their identity would be. And even at one point I went through and we talked about what their sort of motto would be. And that really helped us assign cards to those colors and what they would do.
Cool. All right, question number 4. When you're designing a Lorcana card, character, action item, whatever, how much of the original source material, so be it a movie, a TV show, book, whatever, influences the design of said card?
Quite a bit. Actually, it's kind of funny because the design and development team, we have research Fridays. And what'll happen is we have a specific franchise that we'd like to add characters from. And so we go and watch that movie or that clip or that thing. Cool. And we take notes on every little detail, things that are said that we think are iconic and people will remember. And there's some funny lines, of course, iconic moments, all of the characters, even a ton of the background characters that are in these shows can be a lot of fun and make people remember. Sergeant Tibbs was one of those cases where people saw it and they're like, where's he from? And then there's this great search of like finding out where he's from. So we go through all of that and then we start assigning those moments to the cards that we want to bring in.
Okay, that is really cool. So our last question is going to be focused on what I think is most interesting is the fact that we have multiple characters with multiple ink identities, multiple colors, and different keywords. So for example, we have Peter Pan in Emerald with Evasive. Then we have Peter Pan in Ruby with Rush. So my question for you is, when you look at a card, what inspires adding, subtracting, changing a keyword? Is it mostly a theme? Is it going back to scenes from movies or source material or some part of the character where you go, hey, what about this variation of this character?
So it's very much the moment in time that glimmer exists. So in the movies, we'll take that moment and we'll figure out what sort of keywords or abilities he has. And that's where that glimmer comes to life. So, for example, with Peter Pan, there's this point in the movie where Captain Hook says, you're only winning because you can fly. And Peter Pan promises him, then I won't fly, and I can still beat you. And because of that, he almost loses. But it's much more close to Rush than it is Evasive. So in that case, he has Rush and not Evasive.
Super cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys have a great con, and we appreciate everything.
Thank you very much.
Hey, this is Sugi here with LorcanaCast. I am sitting here with Liam from the Limiteers, and it is Sunday, the final day of GenCon, and boy, it has been crazy. How has your convention been?
Oh, I mean, it's been unbelievable. It was my first GenCon. It's Lorcana's first GenCon, and those two things together made for a pretty incredible experience.
So I see you've been running around getting signatures, talking to people. I saw you bought some magic artwork. I mean, what's been your highlight? Because it has been just a wild ride for everybody here.
There's so many things I could point to, and I'll be honest, throughout the weekend, there's been time after time that I thought that was the highlight. Meeting Steve and Ryan again and chatting with them, or getting my first box of Lorcana cards. But I'll be honest, the highlight for me was meeting new Lorcana fans. I had the opportunity to give some cards to some kids who are experiencing Lorcana for the very first time, and seeing their eyes light up when they saw the art on those cards was pretty magical. And it just reinforced to me, how special this game is, the artwork, the play style, everything. And it's going to bring a lot of new people into the game who've never seen it before, or never played a TCG before.
Yeah, so what did you think about playing? Got to play in the tournament, you got your cards. I'm sure you've been playing, I saw you were grinding some games out at the JW. So what do you think about the game that you actually physically touched cards and played, X amount of games?
It was really incredible. Unlike a lot of people, I didn't play a lot of games with proxies. I played a couple, or printed home cards or online. So this is really my first experience playing with actual decks, either starter deck on starter deck or modified deck on deck, and it was the game plays very well. And I think the best part about it is each and every game that I played, even in the tournament, which was a little competitive, both I and my opponent had a great time. We interacted, we had fun, we joked around, and overall each and every game is just a great experience, because the game really lends itself to that kind of collaborative and fun atmosphere.
So what was it like meeting Nicholas Cole again? Or actually, is this the first time you've met him in person and gotten to sign stuff?
Yes, it is. First time in person, yes.
Tell us about that.
Nick is one of the nicest people that you'll ever meet. He is, for those who don't know, Nicholas Cole is one of the staples of the Lorcana art community. He helped define the look of the game. He helped bring on other artists. And so in terms of iconic members of the Lorcana team, the extended family, it doesn't get any more iconic than Nick. So we've had the opportunity to talk to him before, but to see him in person and to get him to sign some of his cards was just really incredible. I knew he would be nice. I didn't anticipate that he would be that nice. And he instantly remembered me, which just, says something right there. It was pretty incredible.
Okay, so we're about to split ways. Day's about to end. So what's like one last thing you want to say to people who are listening and thinking about, maybe I should get in Lorcana, maybe I shouldn't. Is it worth their time? Do you think they'll have fun? What's your final thought on this?
It's no secret that, I've been a Lorcana fan since day one. And but I will say, I would not be promoting and advocating a product that I didn't believe in. And so if any point during my Lorcana journey I had lost faith in this game, I would have stopped creating Lorcana content and stopped following it. But that hasn't been the case, because each and every time I've been exposed to it, whether the Lorcana team or the news or at events, it's just reinforced the fact that this game is special, that it has a fantastic team behind it who wants it to succeed and wants to get cards to players, and it just has the potential to be a really, really, really special game that'll last for many, many years. And I just encourage everybody to, when the product's available, just try it out. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But it could be something magical that you'll miss if you don't give it a chance.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody, welcome back to LorcanaCast, the happiest podcast on earth. We are back, and we are ready to talk about GenCon, the launch of Lorcana, the official release, and all kinds of fun stuff. I am here with my co-host, Skeff Man. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing phenomenal, the Sug. How are you?
Oh, man, I am great. Shout out to Mr. Chris Bates. He is on vacation with his family.
Sugi, he has to choose us first always.
No, he has a family and
You're listening to us, Chris. The choice must be made.
He's probably playing Lorcana with his daughter while we're recording this. Like who's the one taking the L here? If he's off on vacation playing Lorcana,
I feel he
and
got
we're
the
sitting
better
here
end of that
recording.
stick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. I'd rather be playing Lorcana with somebody right now. I won't lie.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Right.
Easier.
It's
Chris, you're here in spirit. We love and miss you.
Yeah. He'll be back. He'll be back soon. He's off for a couple weeks.
He's off being floodboarding.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's talk, first of all, let's set the expectations here. So we're going to talk about Lorcana release up front, talk about some of our polls, some of the games we played, whatnot, and then we're going to recap GenCon, and we'll talk about the tournament. So I was able to go undefeated in my pod.
Yeah.
Skeff went 2-1, but you said you lost to one of the guys who won out.
I actually lost to the winner of the whole thing.
Okay, so Skeff took an L to one of the undefined or the defined best.
The winner
player,
of the entire thing.
Well, it's hard to say because it was a top 8, so there's 8 undefeated players, not necessarily like the.
Oh no, the guy that I lost to, he won that Sunday thing.
No, I know, but Sunday was just another top 8. Yeah. They didn't play to like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh,
6,
they
7,
just
8.
played in the top 8. Oh, I think, but he went 3-0 though in that tournament.
Yeah, so day 2 was another 3-rounder.
Crazy, right? Sugi played in that.
So there are 8 undefeated people.
Yes.
But we don't know who the number 1 player is because they didn't do like a top 8, top 4, top 2 finals.
Definitely that guy that I played. We're gonna go with that and ride that until it falls off.
We'll talk about all of that here in a little bit. But first off, Lorcana is released at local game stores. We made it.
What, dude?
We made it after a year.
We're almost to the year.
Almost. So like 11 months and change.
Dude, madness. What a crazy dumb ride.
It's been a little interesting coming from, hey, here's a D23 announcement, to here's some of the rules, to here are some of the cards.
Here's one card every 2 weeks.
Yeah, here's nothing. Dead silence. Then here's one card every 2 weeks. Then here's like 10 cards every day.
We're not jaded at all about that process.
and then here's 40 cards and an app surprise.
Done. And then Gen Con that Thursday, someone opens up a pack and they're like, what is this full art thing? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we had no idea about the enchanted
but
rares.
We did call it the day before. Sugi posted it.
So we did guess there would be full art alternate foiling. Where we were wrong is we guessed that it would be
6
foilings of Mickey Mice.
We thought it would be one of each color with six in total.
Yeah, we thought that all the Mickey Mouse character cards would be full art foils. 2 of them were correct. The rest we were totally wrong about.
Dude, and not even all of them are legendaries either, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, some of them are rare. Yep. Some of them are supers. It's a
missed
wide
opportunity
pick.
to have one of the commons be enchanted.
Ooh, which one would you have picked as a common to be enchanted, Mr.
The best one, fire the cannons.
Oh, ooh.
That would right? Right? Just a ship with like 50 cannons on the side of it. How dope would that be, right?
Okay.
Like that's what we're missing. Listen here, Ravensburger. We need the full art actions and songs because those would look je ne sais quoi.
Okay, so I would have gone in the reverse. I would have said like make it a really hilariously awkward card like Ransack as the full art foil.
That's definitely how they want. I would refuse to open the product. I would be like, no. This is who approved this? Where
actually how about this? I would have taken like a full art beast mirror.
Where it's just a big giant mirror on the card and it's shiny enough where you like see yourself in the reflection.
No, you could see like the reflection of the beast in the mirror.
That's good. See, this is good. Listen, we have good ideas. Someone should listen to us.
It's the full art of the beast. So here's what they could have done. They want to be really sexy. They could have stolen the ghost rares from Yu-Gi-Oh. So the beast's mirror is like a card, full art. But the mirror is a ghost rare, so depending on the light, you can see the reflection of the beast in the mirror. That would be cool.
Yes, it was. Yes, the Enchanted, a lot of potential here, Ravensburger, with what cards you can pick for Enchanted. Just don't always pick characters. You're going to find out you're going to have some very cool action in the songs and maybe some items.
Man, Fire the Cannons would actually be really sick. How about Frying Pan? How do you feel about that?
I feel that'd be awful. That's another terrible idea. I feel you should have said something like, I don't know, be prepared, and it's just fire of a whole canyon ablaze. I don't know.
Hold on. If I had to pick any common to be an enchanted,
be prepared is also I think like a rare.
Be prepared is a rare. Okay, now this is probably not surprising to anyone, but I'd probably pick Sudden Chill and Emerald.
Oh,
you discard your opponent. Each opponent discards a card.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That
would be that'd be kind of sweet. You have like Cruel like breaking through the door.
Right, like there's some cards that are good that would just not look good. What like the Bonefish Quill. Not a great full art enchanted card, probably. Right? It's kind of boring. I feel it's a great card.
No. They changed the art, so it could be like the scene where Ariel is signing her voice away to Ursula
with the quill.
That could be with the quill.
Oh yeah, get all fancy. Oh yeah, because then you can do the thing like with Pokemon. So Pokemon has the full arts, alternate arts, where you have all the Pokemon in the background. You can just have these like look. There's Ursula, there's Ariel, there's Flotsam, there's Jetsam. Here's the scene. Yeah. All for just a Bonefish Quill, who is just a very small picture. Yeah, that'd be great. Also, great idea.
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of the fun of it. Is even though the item itself may be the quill, they could set the scene.
Yeah, you're right.
As the alternate art. So it's that snapshot that they're pulling from.
Yes.
So instead of the current art that's just the quill, it could be the literal scene. Now they'd probably spice it up a little bit, maybe animate it, make it look a little bit more interesting.
I agree. Yeah, see, those are what they can do. A lot of potential going forward.
Think about it. You could have like Dr. Facilier's cards. You could have that scene where he's like flipping the cards in front of the prince.
The cards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they could easily make enchanted rares with like
so good
art. Because the thing is, the artists themselves are reimagining the art from the card, but they could also reimagine the art from the scene.
Yes, a lot of potential. But all right, we got sidetracked. But back to the main story on hand: GenCon, madness.
No, not yet. We're talking about the release of Lorcana, my man.
That's true. That is true. Release of it at GenCon, yes.
So no. The release of it this weekend,
dude. I'm a little sour about it.
Bro, you are ahead. Your head is bent on GenCon.
That's right. That's where all the good stuff happened this weekend. Meh, it was all right. I can't listen here, people. Listen, Linda. I can't find anything in town close to MSRP, so I bought like 2 starter decks and some packs and called it a weekend.
Oh, what were they? What are your stores charging?
I'm not going to talk about who, but let's say the average price was right around that $250 marker. Can't do it, people. If you can, more power to you. I will wait till September 1st. When maybe prices, maybe I could be terribly wrong. People will be like, Skeff, you're a fool. Buy the boxes now at $250. They're only going to go up. I'm like, you know what? I'll take a trove. If a trove is MSRP, Sugi, price of a trove again?
50.
There we go. You get 8 packs. That just those. Like, obviously, you're not going to get. But as we found out, Sugi, the ratios of legendaries and booster box are between 3 and 7. So in a trove, if you buy 1, 2, 3, 4 troves, 3 troves.
3 troves.
You probably pull a couple legendaries out of those.
I actually did pull legendary out of my trove.
Bang.
Yes.
There we go. Answer. And then also singles. Like, Sugi, I don't know if you, but me, I enjoy buying singles because I'll figure out a deck I want to play, borrowing cards from friends and such, and then I'll buy singles and call it a day.
So here's something interesting we can talk about. I guess our plan to talk about certain things in certain orders is just out the window.
It is.
Skeff
This is chaos. Chris isn't here.
Yeah,
we have no judge.
We have no anchor. We're so screwed. That's why we have Chris. He keeps us in check.
We're a leaf on the wind.
Chris, help. Come back. Come back to us, my man. So check this out. We put up a Twitter poll. So it is Saturday the 19th we're recording. At the point in which I'm looking at the poll, we have 200 votes.
Yep.
So the question was, for science, we want to know if you paid MSRP, paid above MSRP, paid both in case you went to multiple stores, or you're just going to wait. So check this out. Here's an interesting thing. You're part of this demographic now because you're getting some later.
Okay.
38% paid MSRP.
That's not bad.
17% paid above MSRP.
Okay.
6% paid for both.
Interesting.
39% are waiting.
Wow.
There's a lot of people who are just going to wait, just like you.
And I was going to say, dude, almost 40% of the people were able to find product at MSRP. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Incredible. Tell me where you live, people. I'm going to come visit.
I'll come to Missouri.
All right.
It's all MSRP here.
4 hours. Easy drive. Done and done.
Okay. Come on down. So I think this is fast. Oh, and that's again, 200 votes. It's a small sample size. Just want to clarify. But what I think is interesting is the horror stories of you're going to pay more than MSRP that made it sound like everyone was. It's actually pretty low here. It's about 40% paid MSRP, 40% are waiting.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting that more people are willing to wait until September in hopes that the price will drop, which we all suspect is going to happen. Because think about it. How could a store possibly argue with, I'm going to go to Target and buy packs at $6. You're trying to charge me like
10,
I've seen places
$10. I've seen $10 per pack. Yeah.
12.
Well,
some places are doing like 15.
Right.
So like they've got to drop the price, otherwise they're just going to sit on dead product.
Yeah, and that and there's a balance at all, right? Like you just wait it out because now here's something that could be interesting. I mean, potentially the price of booster boxes could go up because the allure of a booster box versus like the troves, and that'll be interesting to see that. But I do believe the singles, the individual cards themselves, I think they will start to gradually kind of show more and more out there, more supply.
I was going to say, I have a counter. I have a couple counters. Yep. One, so I've been watching TCG Player.
Me too. I have it pulled up right now as
I have it pulled up right now as we're speaking. Okay. All right. We are nerds. So for those who are listening, Skeff is the money market guy. He is the the businessman. I will absolutely default to Skeff for business. I can do it, but I don't care. I am the player. I'm the trader. So
I'm also a pretty good player too.
Well, okay. We'll put it like this. Skeff is the guy who will make you money.
Yes.
I'm the guy who will I'm the guy who will help you get really good trade value. I don't care about the money.
Yes, accurate.
Because I just want the cards to play. Yep. But I can make a mean trade. It's fair, but you're going to get what you want, and you're not going to get ripped off. Yep. Skeff will help you find the card, sell the card, take a percentage, and then help you do it all over again.
Call it a day. Yeah.
So here's what I want. The point I want to make. The price point for these cards has been up, it's been down, it's been left, it's been right. So yesterday, obviously Elsa the Enchanted card is the one everybody wants. But yesterday, Belle Enchanted was the number 2 most expensive card. Then it was Stitch. Then it was Tinkerbell. Now it's Tinkerbell is number 2. Stitch is number 3. The Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer and Amethyst is number 4. And Belle's dropped to number 5.
Yes.
So like these cards are just they're shifting all over the place. The prices are unreliable. Just I honestly would probably wait until like 2 weeks after September for them to stabilize because we're seeing them go from $300 to $200 to $180 to $150 to $200 to it's just a madhouse. There's no possible way to know. Also, if we get away from the enchanted rares, the most expensive legendary is not Elsa that everyone thought it would be. It's Rapunzel.
Right?
And so
great card.
Another
right.
thing,
Great card there.
Another thing that's interesting. Yesterday it was Rapunzel, Elsa, Belle, Brave Little Mickey, Brave Little Taylor.
Yep.
That was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Right now, as of Saturday at 10:22 p.m. Central Standard Time, Rapunzel's at 40. Well, let's do market price.
Yeah, market price. Always market price. Yes.
Yeah, always market price. Rapunzel's at 50.
Yep.
She actually went up. She was floating around 30.
Yep.
Belle went up. She's at 36. She's number 2. Elsa went down to 33, and Maleficent Monstrous Dragon is 32. So the number 1 legendary is a $14 prop up, but numbers 2, 3, and 4 are within $3 of each other in that 33-ish, $36 range.
Correct. And then once you hit Hades, there's a pretty big drop off for all the other ones, or for the last remaining couple, I guess.
So Hades is floating at 26. Brave Little Taylor Mickey tanked out. He was running around 30. He's at 20.
Yep.
And then, believe it or not, I'm not surprised by this. Tinkerbell is at 19.
Most valuable super rare right now in the game.
Yesterday, she was at 12, I believe.
Most valuable super rare in the game, and everyone knows the Tinkerboom deck and the popularity of that card.
Tinkerboom is going way. I would not be surprised if she hits 30, to be very honest.
We'll see. With the super rares, like that makes it a little more attainable than that legendary status, which is nice.
Here's another interesting thing. Lilo. So next up is the next most expensive card is Legendary Stitch at 15. Next up after that, Lilo.
Well, they go on the same deck, right?
Rare.
That's how it goes.
Well, so here's the thing. Lilos were going for $4. Then they went up to $8. Now she's shipping to $13.
So Lilo currently among the Amber decks, among the top Amber decks, she is a must-have 4 copies of the top Amber deck.
Yeah, I have like 16 of her.
Well, that's the thing is like trading. It's a card. Also, Sugi, you'll know this is what for the people that may not know at home. There is only 2 1-cost cards that have 2 lore, Sugi. What is the other one?
Hey, you know what's funny? That's going to be Maleficent biding her time. But here's the thing. She's shipping at $10.
Correct.
So Maleficent is $3 cheaper. What is that? 30% cheaper?
Yep.
What's the math on that? Yeah. You're the money guy. So I'll be like, what's the numbers?
Oh, it's only 20%. A little over 20%, about 30%.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so yeah, Lilo is a $13. She's what, the 7th, 8th, 9th most expensive? She's in the top 10. What?
Isn't that crazy to think about? Like Lilo, it's just this Amber deck has gained. I think that's like the turn 5 Amber deck.
Yeah.
Where it's just she's a must-have.
This show is off the rails. Where is Chris? Help!
Right? Dude, hey man, you can't beat this fluid conversation of like.
This was no. I completely agree. This was not meant to be a money episode, but I guess it's turning into that. So
if you like this, Chad, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
I like this. This trips all the triggers for me.
This is kind of fun. I will admit I like talking money market a lot.
See?
Can you guess what the next card is after Lilo?
It's actually a bit of a surprise.
It's Stitch Rockstar.
Well,
he's also 13.
It's also you can get that same card in a starter deck, which I feel
no. You cannot. You have to pull him.
Well, I mean, it's not foil.
He's not in the Amber Amethyst deck, dude.
Oh, is the surfing Stitch? Wait, which one is in the Amber Amethyst deck?
Moana.
Oh, Moana is. Yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah, no. This Stitch you have to pull manually.
That's the D23 promo. That's what it was.
Yeah,
I'm like, there's another version of this card. Oh yeah, it's a dumb expensive version.
Yeah, I actually have a couple cold foils of him. I wonder what they're going for. Probably like what? Let me click. Let me see.
It's actually surprising, chat. The cold foils are about double.
Nobody has a. Oh wait, hold on. Cold foil printing. Let's see what they're going for. Oh my god, $30.
Yep, it's about double. Now you'll be here. Here's another surprising. Cold foils, common cold foils are going for like $4.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But that dude, that's $4. That's almost that's almost that's about 60% of the pack cost,
Hold on.
Sugi.
How much is a cold foil Lilo? This might be scary. All
It's
right,
about-
hold
it's
on.
probably about 30 or 40.
20.
Well, how many are out there though, right? That's the thing.
Not many. 18, 20, 22, 25. That's let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, that's not many. Those probably get snatched up quick when people realize. Like cold foils are hard to pull. I feel cold foils are always a good pickup if you get them for the right price because of the opportunity to pull them.
I want to know how much my cold foil Elsa is.
Which one? The legendary?
Yeah.
It'll be
a
a lovely surprise for you.
Woo!
Yeah.
$75. Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're looking at double because the odd. Like here's what it is. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's the odds. So in a booster box, you get 24 packs. So that means you got 24 cold foils. You're gonna hit about 11 to 15 common cold foils.
So my Maleficent cold foil is also about $70.
Yeah, man. The cold foils have tremendous, especially when you start getting to the playable cards like Fire the Cannons, Dragonfire, Friends on the Other Side, like cards that people are gonna need 4 of in a deck. You're gonna see an interesting demand, kind of like you saw with.
Okay, here's an interesting one. So Tinkerbomb is 20. Actually, she's probably gonna be closer to 24. Because there's a near mint for 20 from someone with 0 sales and 41 sales, 0% rating
For the cold foil?
And the next, no, regular.
Oh.
And then it just shoots up to 25.
Yep.
But if you click on cold foil, it starts at 27.
Is the cheapest buy now, right?
So the cheapest buy now is from it's $27.97. So you might as well just buy the cold foil because it's only
for the odds of pulling it.
$4 more.
Yes,
that's odd.
Right. And see, there's the thing. There's where you get.
I feel like the cold foil tank should be going for 50.
It will. It'll get there eventually because it'll be more demand. Like people actually, because at the end of the day, also Sugi, sometimes people are cheap and people just want the cheapest version available, right? So some people are on the opposite spectrum of that. We're like people. Like here's an interesting thing that you brought up earlier with the enchanteds.
Yeah.
You know how you said Belle was the second most, not enchanted, but the regular legendaries. Like it went Rapunzel, Belle, Elsa, right?
Well, right now it does. She used to be number 4, number 5.
But for the enchanted, Elsa beats Belle by 3 spots and a significant price value. So that's just showing you that like it just.
Well, but okay. Here's my argument though. There's only so many boxes that have been cracked, and there's only so many people who are willing to sell. A lot of people are collecting.
Yes, and there's a lot of people holding too. The enchanted people holding enchanted. So yeah. It's
kind of a disingenuous number because like
there's not enough comps out there. There's not enough movable cards to actually set the market.
Yeah. The market's not set.
Nope.
Plus, so many people are hyped on. Oh my god, this is like my first enchanted rare. I am never doing anything with this.
And also, how many copies have people sent into PSA to get graded? That'll be interesting to see. Very soon.
That'll be interesting. There's so many unreliable variants. Just there's no way.
That's why usually with any new release of a set, you give it the first 30 days of full release. So I'm counting the first 30 days as starting September 1st is when I'm starting the clock, and then at September 30th,
October. Yeah.
So I'll give that full month September. We'll do a show and do kind of like maybe like a recap of like where it started September 1st and where they officially are September 30th. Because by that time there'd be enough cards out in the market. You're getting ready for, can't believe to say this, set 2 coming out in November. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I'll make a prediction. The prices right now on release weekend are actually fairly low if you're not doing cold foils and you're not doing enchanted rares. So for example, Whole New World, a card everybody wants.
I think it's okay. I prefer Grab Your Sword, but that's just me.
Okay, but like be prepared.
Yes.
The Banish All characters.
Yes.
$9.
Right.
Let it go. I called this the one of the best removal cards in the game. $5. I mean, John Silver Legendary is going for $6. He's not that,
but he's also not that playable either right now.
What?
He's not that playable right now.
That is not true. He is very playable.
Comment down below if you disagree or agree with Sugi on this one.
No, he is absolutely playable. But here's the thing: the super rare Robin Hood is $7. A super rare is more expensive than a legendary, and I think John Silver is way more playable than Robin Hood. Check this out: rare Maui Hero to All is an $8.
Crazy,
card.
right?
Like, these numbers are not reliable.
No, you got to give this time.
Like this is hilarious. That like a rare is more expensive than Robin Hood, Ariel super rare. I mean, like, yeah, it's gonna take some time for more cards to hit the market because this was an interesting one. Lots of stores weren't selling product until today. So even though the product was available on Friday, there were stores all across the country that didn't sell until Saturday, and because they were doing events,
and they didn't sell booster boxes.
And they didn't sell. Yeah,
they all sold starter decks, troves, gift boxes, and you could buy like a couple packs if you play in a league. So yeah, a lot of shops in town were not selling booster boxes for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm looking at like Mother Gothel super rare, $1.95.
Yeah, man. Like when you start deck building,
Flynn Rider is a $2 uncommon.
That's gonna go up.
Yeah,
that's gonna go up.
Gantu Legendary and Beast Legendary are
they get no love.
$3.80.
They get no love.
What else? Hans is a $3 rare. I mean, like these numbers are all over.
Crazy,
it's
right?
Wild West. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Cheshire Cat $1.
Yeah, but that also comes in the starter deck too, right? So like the starter deck cards, obviously going to lower that price.
Yeah, but Tamatoa super rare $1.
It's also it's not that good.
Get out. You're fired. Dragon's Fire 70 cents.
That comes in the starter deck as well, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, these numbers are hilarious. Like, who knows? Who knows what it's going to
September 30th, we're going to do a recap video of where they are, looking back at August 19th to where they finish up. You know what I mean?
But here's the good news. This is the thing that makes me the most excited.
They should all go lower.
On release weekend, the average card is like less than $10.
Correct.
That is not what I was expecting. It's way better than I was expecting. I thought things would probably be in the $10 to $15 range, but like, so let's count the cards. So we'll start at Tinkerbomb. So she's 19, followed by a legendary Stitch at 14, followed by a rare Lilo at 13, followed by a super rare Stitch at 13, followed by a legendary Ursula at 13, followed by a super rare Whole New World at 12.
Yep.
And then once you get to Maleficent at rare, she's 10.
And then everything else is
10 or less.
Super affordable.
Like, wow.
Yeah. It's just
that's great.
And it should all go, like, theoretically,
it should all go down.
It should all, once the Targets, the Best Buys, the FYEs, the Walmart,
GameStop,
Barnes and Nobles,
like,
they're all going to have product, and people are
your local Quick Trip gas station. I mean, everything is just
So like building decks will not be a problem.
Oh, I just refreshed. See, the Rapunzel went down to 49. She already dropped $1 while we're talking.
Sell.
I do.
It's a race to the bottom, people. Opening weekend is a race to the bottom always.
Yep,
that's what it always is in most card markets.
We're literally recording this, and prices are shifting. So to be really honest, we've had people ask, like, should I buy? Should I sell? What should I do? Do whatever you want.
I think both. You find a good way to do a good mixture of both. Sell like, for example, like if you don't want a whole play set of Enchanteds and you got one. Think of you could probably build a couple decks if you sell one enchanted card.
Okay, so I actually built 2 decks last night that we did videos for in TCG Player. Obviously, the prices have changed. I built the Stitch budget deck we listed.
Yeah.
And it came out to $65.
There we go.
So it's
super affordable.
The only card in there that's expensive is the super rare Stitch. I'm pulling up the deck right now on my official Lorcana companion
app of niceness.
Yo, this app is sick. Shout outs to Ravensburger. If you haven't gotten this app on your mobile phone, go get it now. It's free. It's awesome. I've built like 30 decks on this thing.
It is addicting. It's very addicting.
I don't track my cards because there's some issues with like tracking your foil and non-foil cards. Also, I just have like my cards next to me, and B, a spreadsheet so I can actually like physically see my inventory.
Nice.
I'm just so used to it from like Magic. I've got inventory trackers, so I could just put in like, here's what I have, and it does all the work for me. Anyways, the point I'm making is I'm pulling up the Stitch deck right now. So for $60, and I'm pretty confident some of those prices have dropped, minus the Lilo. So the problem is the Lilo went up. So we priced her at $8 when we built the deck, and now she's 13.
Dude, that's another $20 right there in Lilo.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's a little annoying.
You're gonna
however,
need those Lilo's Maleficents.
Yeah. However, it's around it's probably going to be in like the $80 range, but still sub $100 is not bad
to build a
for an
competitive
aggro
deck.
deck. And I did take it to locals. I played it out against some other decks, and I won every best of 3 I played. So it can.
Deck.
It's a nasty deck. So I would burn out. Well, there's I think there's like 30 different targets for Stitch's Rockstar ability. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's 7 times 4? 28.
Yep.
So there's 28 targets, and I would just get them out turn 4 and then play like 4 different characters and then have one in my hand to do it all over again the next turn.
Yeah.
My opponent, I even played against a bad matchup with Mulan and Aladdin, Heroic Outlaw. And so they would, challenge and banish something. I lose 2, they gain 2. Mulan would challenge and banish something, and then he could quest for an extra +1.
Nice.
And I would still refill my board and outquest. And that was the test. Can this beat Ruby lore manipulation? And it absolutely could.
It's just too much it's too overwhelming.
Well, it was funny because I'm running Steel and Amber. So they had to swing into my Hook.
Yeah.
They had to swing into my Eric.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, I would just clap back with Challenger.
Yeah, Challenger's Captain Hook, I feel, it's just such a good card.
But if they didn't get rid of my challengers, now I'm sitting on Lilo, the Aladdin with 2 lore pips, the LeFou with 2 lore pips.
Yep.
So all my lore batteries were sitting comfortable.
Challenger and Bodyguard, great way to protect those lore batteries.
Yeah, and then I'm hiding them behind Hercules and Protective Cub Simba.
Oh, Simba's so good.
Oh, that Simba won me 2 games. My opponent slaps down a 2/2 on turn 1, a 2/2 on turn 2.
Yeah.
I have a Lilo. I play the Simba and I quest with a Lilo, and he's like, if I challenge with 2 of my 2/2s,
you lose both of them.
He loses both of them, and I'm still sitting on a safe Lilo. It's so annoying.
What's that math, right? I feel like because it costs 2 to play the Simba, right? But you get a 2/3. Like having that extra, like instead of a 3 instead of a 2 it's why the mini's really good too. Like a mini is a 2 for a 2/3, where it's just you get the opportunity that you can technically take out 2 cards for 1 at a 2 cost is madness.
And you're hiding your lore batteries behind it, so your Lilo is completely safe.
They have to use 2. So, that early game, you can get that Lilo is going to go.
Lilo's going to get you 4.
What?
Oh, yeah, she's going to get you at least 4. Well, because you quest with her on turn 2.
Yep.
You slap down the Simba with Bodyguard, and then they can't get her.
No.
And then on turn 3
you get 6.
Quest with her again. No. She's gotten you 4.
Oh, okay, 4. Okay.
You play her on turn 1, quest on turn 2, quest on turn 3.
Got 4,
That's insane. That's great value.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. With just with a 1 cost and a 2 cost.
Yeah. But if they get rid of the Simba, then you can play the Hercules on turn 3. They got to do it all over
Or
again.
You just end up playing 2 more of the Lilos.
Yeah, I did that one turn.
And you're just I guess I just win.
You put pressure on them and you play the Stitch and another Simba.
Yeah.
And now on turn 4, you shift and you're just gas.
Yeah.
Like
that's the thing.
Gas.
It's it's a potential of card mitigation, things like that. But yeah, it's just been between GenCon and the actual release, what a wild couple weeks it's been for Lorcana as a whole. I
am so excited to talk about decks. I'm so excited to play at locals. I played my Belsa ramp, so it's Sapphire, Amethyst, Hyper ramp. You just go nuts, and on it's pretty consistent. Like turn 5, you're dropping. Let me pull up the list again. You're dropping 7 drops, or 6 drops. So you can hit like Mufasa, who is a 4/6 with 3 pips of lore. You can get Chief Tui. I was playing Ursula on people, so they're like, it's turn 5, so they're sitting out 5 to 7 lore.
Yep.
Now they lose a lore, and I draw a card. Or the silly thing is, if you get Grammatala out, and then she gets banished and sent to the Inkwell.
Oh yeah, so good.
You can get the Spirit of Winter off turn 6.
It's insane.
And your opponent doesn't get to ready their big things, and you just kind of you lock them out of the game.
Yeah, dude, it's madness. That's a whole nother show.
Deck.
That's a whole nother show talking about that madness.
However, it's like a $400 deck.
It does get pricey
because It's legendary heavy. I took out some of the Ursulas. Well, I'm gonna retest it, but it was running like 3 Ursulas, 3 Elsas, 3 or 4 Bells, some of the most expensive cards in the game. But I played against a mirror match ramp deck, not a problem. Then I played against an aerial item deck, not a problem. I'm gonna keep testing. Like, obviously, this is not like a meta talk. I'm just saying, like, at locals, playing against constructed decks, fully constructed decks, this Belsa ramp is disgusting. Also, the MVP of that deck is an uncommon item. Would you like to guess what that item would be, my friend?
Is it One Jump Ahead?
It's Ursula's Cauldron.
Oh yeah, Ursula's Cauldron, the scry every turn.
So yeah, you exert. It's a 2-cost non-inkable item. It's got Peer into the Depths. Exert this item. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one on the top of your deck and one on the bottom. Here's a couple of reasons why it's so good. One,
you have no card draw on the deck.
Yeah, you do. You've got Friends on the other side. You've got Maleficent.
Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah, no, okay. For the Amethyst, yes.
Yeah. So with Ursula's Cauldron, you can actually control what you ramp with One Jump and Mickey.
Yeah, isn't it crazy awesome?
So there's lots of times where you don't know what's getting sent to the Inkwell. If you can get Cauldron online, that's not a problem.
No.
Second of all, you get to look at the top 2 cards. Half of the time, I see a non-inkable card. Like I have 2 magic mirrors in here.
Great card.
So that's a late game card if you're stalling out.
Yes.
But if you're in control of your tempo, you don't need it.
Yep.
So if I see magic mirror plus something else and I have a 1 jump in my hand, I'll put the something else at the bottom of my deck, put the magic mirror on top, play the 1 jump, and put the magic mirror into my Inkwell.
You don't need
and
it.
I could turn a non-inkable card into ink.
Yeah, dude.
Very potent.
It's just that knowledge. You know what I mean? That knowledge is huge.
Yeah, knowledge is huge. Also, you can use Ursula's Cauldron before you play Maleficent or Friends on the other side.
Huge. So you know what you can draw.
Way, you know what you draw. Yeah. Here's another thing. Even if you're not drawing with a special card, you can still use Ursula's Cauldron to look at the top 2 and get the best of the 2 options.
Well, especially if you're top decking. Like, there's a lot of cards that don't play draw that it's almost needed, so you're not just top decking.
But here's the thing. You get to control your top deck by picking one of 2.
Exactly. Yeah, it's huge.
So everyone else is just kind of hoping for the best. You actually get to manipulate, in a small sense,
you have
what you're
50% better chance than your opponent with 1 card.
I also have Develop Your Brain in here. So another thing you can do is look at the top 2, get rid of the worst card, play Develop Your Brain, look at a new card on top of the one you already have. So you technically see 3 and pick 1.
Mm-hmm.
That is goofy. For 1 resource, you can essentially... Ursula's Cauldron turns Develop Your Brain into look at 3 cards and just pick 1. And that's...
so good.
Silly.
Yeah, Ursula's Cauldron is going to start seeing it. Like, people are still trying to figure out the importance of items and, you know, where they fit.
Cauldron and Magic Mirror is dumb because you just look at the top 2 and then draw whichever one you want.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the MVP, in my opinion, like, Ursula's Cauldron won me so many games because I just kept filtering.
Yeah, you knew what you had. You go through half your deck with 1 card.
Yeah, so my opponent eventually ran out. He's just top decking, and I'm like, look at 2, pick 1. Look at 2, pick 1. Look at 2, pick 1.
Going through,
and it's even dumber because you can get to Friends on the other side faster.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
So you filter with Ursula's Cauldron on turn X.
Yep.
You put the Friends on top. You put the other thing on the bottom. Next turn, you draw Friends. Then before you play Friends, you use Ursula's Cauldron to look at 2.
Yeah.
Put the one you want on the top. Put the one you don't want on the bottom. Play Friends, and you draw 2. Again, you saw 3 cards.
Yeah, so good. So good. So good.
Yeah, this deck is nuts. The price probably dropped a little bit.
You're gonna send me that deck list for that deck. I want to check it out.
We did a video on YouTube about it, my man.
Oh, that's okay. Now I'm with you. I'm with you now. Dude, this audio stuff always tricks me up because I'm just as you talk about it, I'm like trying to like factor it in my brain, and I'm like, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah, I did a whole video. I'm actually going to update it after some testing this next week because I'm changing some ratios. I'm increasing some Maleficent. I'm bringing down Ursula. I'm bringing up some Belle. But the grand scope of the idea is you ramp out. You get big bodies like the 5-drop Maleficent, the 6-drop Mufasa, the 7-drop Chief Tui, the 8-drop Elsa. You get 10 ink in your Inkwell, and then you just play a Belle and go, or you have the Belle just sit there. And generally, by the time she can quest for 5, you're at 15 or more. And it's like, all right, opponent, here's the skinny, here's the Stitch. If we're gonna Disneyfy this threat, you have to get rid of the Belle. She will auto win me the game. But you also have to get rid of a 3/6 Maleficent, a 4/6 Mufasa, or some weird like you have a 4/6 Elsa and a 4/6 Mufasa. Yeah. You're generally sitting on 8 to 12 lore just ready to fire, and like unless they have Be Prepared, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And with the Ursula's Cauldron, you're generally sitting on like 3 or more cards in your hand. So if they pop the board, you can refill and still threaten the win because you're at such high lore values. You only need 1 or 2 bodies to win.
Yep.
And it's really fun.
Dude, it's insane. It's insane how out of control it can get. How fast. Yep.
It is very consistent. Like between Develop Your Brain, One Jump Ahead, Grandma Tala, Mickey Mouse, Friends on the Other Side, Maleficent. Like you just kind of mulligan away all the big things because you'll get into it.
It's also the 2 engines of the game trying to work together. Like we have the ramp engine, then you have the draw engine.
They're great. Yeah. They're so great. Yeah,
they're so like that's the engine of the games, and people are just like, oh, why don't you just put them together?
Yeah, you've also got Pascal to finish off games if you're like 1 or 2 lore away. I put Flounder in as
the best card in the game.
Sure, he's a 2/2 for 1, and he can go into the Inkwell late game. It's a really fun deck. Like I really like this. It's fun. It's fast. It's gross, and being able to play an 8-drop on, a couple turns early just feels so good. So good. You want to know something else that's really fun about this ramp deck? You can sing Friends on the Other Side with Detective Mickey, and nobody really wants to challenge it to him.
No, it is. I don't know why, but Detective Mickey is such an annoyingly good card. It is. It's one of the things where like
he's a promo in the OP kit. I need 4 of him foil for this deck,
and that's gonna be super expensive. Go to leagues, people. Go to leagues so you can get those cards.
Yeah. Go to your local store and play in the organized play league. Man, Detective Mickey is just so versatile.
It's a 3/1/3 with a phenomenal ability, and it can sing some of the better cards in the game.
Like One Jump.
Yep.
And Friends on the Other Side.
Yep. 2 of the best songs in the game. And
the opponent's like constantly, do I challenge a 1/3
that has 1 lore that's literally doing nothing? It literally did it. It played. It did it. You played it. It did its job. Now it just exists. It serves no other purpose than just existing.
But it's so good at doing all the things you want it to do. It can quest. It can sing. It can make chili and fries.
Yeah. It's phenomenal.
I'm loving this Mickey Mouse. Like we all knew he was kind of good, but it was initially like, well, he's at 1/3. Like he can't challenge. He's got good willpower.
He exists.
But not like
in the name of this game. If you exist longer than your opponent, you're gonna win.
Yeah. But it's funny because I'll play him out, and then next turn have him exert to sing Friends on the Other Side. What? Yeah, he drew 2 cards and he got me an extra ink into my Inkwell. So I'm at 4 and I have 2 extra cards in my hand.
Yeah, he'll do it and he that's the thing is like once you play him, he is useful the entire game.
Yeah, you can quest with him. You can I think we're gonna see a lot of this Mickey Mouse in the game. He's fun. He's cool. It's thematic.
And I'm glad he was one of the cards chosen in the league night. I feel that was an appropriate card to choose.
Yeah, Yzma is also very good. Hey-Hey's very good, but I think the Mickey Mouse, the Detective Mickey Mouse, will be the one a lot of people are going to want.
Agreed.
We should probably talk about GenCon before we get out of here. It's almost been an hour.
Time to go, guys. We got to leave. We got to get out of here.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's talk about GenCon. So why don't you start us off on the non-tournament side? Because my start is I sat down and played cards. Woo!
You did, yes. I had the PTSD from Thursday morning, so that was still having nightmares of all the elbows and smells. It was awful. GenCon was good. I'm an avid GenCon goer. If you've been listening to us for a while, like this is I think my 11th GenCon or something like that. It was I had a blast. I saw so many old faces I haven't seen in so long at this convention, and I just thoroughly enjoyed myself. Also, Lorcana released at GenCon, which was pure chaos and madness, and not organized at all on that Thursday, which led to just awfulness. And then the first time ever in GenCon history, they actually set up a line outside of the exhibit hall, and it was that happened at GenCon. It was insane.
Were you a part of the whole debacle that was all over Twitter?
What? I don't have Twitter. It's not a real place.
Okay, I'm gonna say no. That's fine. We don't have to recap that. What
was it? I missed that.
Well, so people lined up for Lorcana. There were stanchions. People got there. What was I think 2 or 3 in the morning?
Wait. This is for Friday, not for the first day. Right?
No. This was Wednesday into Thursday.
There was no stanchions Wednesday night. We were there.
No, there were stanchions,
but they didn't set them up though.
They did
eventually.
After we left.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So they had stanchions, people lined up, and then some random person apparently screamed, "There's no line!" And
that's true. Yeah, there's no line. You can't have that's never been a thing at Gen Con. There's never been a line.
Well, okay, so they changed that this year, but everyone just shoved forward, and so people who had waited for hours were shuffled to the back.
Yes.
People shuffled themselves to the front who hadn't waited all night.
Yes.
It was a madhouse. And then apparently people who went through the main doors got denied. They got sent back
around. Yeah, there's you know where the entrance was to the booth.
Yeah, it was a mess. So like I said, I was playing in the tournament. So while all this is happening, I'm in the first Thursday pod. And then by the time we were done, we just got recaps. So like all I have is secondhand information from people who told the story because I wasn't there.
It was
So yeah, it was just a monstrous nightmare. So after that whole kerfuffle, Ravensburger and Gen Con set up a series of stanchions and rules and all kinds of stuff.
That was insane.
So then every night after that, you had a wristband, and they had different wristbands for different days. So you couldn't get one on Thursday and use it on Friday and Saturday. And then they had stanchions, and the Ravensburger employees gave people snacks and drinks and all kinds of stuff. So there have only been 2 times that Gen Con has ever had to change their line policy. And this Gen Con was the second time.
And the first time, I didn't even go to that Gen Con, so it's been a minute.
Yep. So Gen Con had to completely revamp their own rules for the safety of people.
Thanks, Lorcana.
So Lorcana could be safely sold to human beings at the
They're going to get the fire marshal's going to shut down Gen Con because of a Disney card game.
Yeah, I just was like, wow, that's pretty. The fact of the matter that Lorcana forced a policy change mid-con,
yeah, that whole
is impressive.
Yeah, that whole Thursday thing was not going to work out every single day. People will get injured.
No. All right, do you want to talk about your tournament at all?
Yeah, sure. I got Ruby Emerald, so that stinks. And then I went 2-0. Both first 2 games went 2-0, and then 2-0. Pretty feeling confident for having my least favorite of the 3 starters. And then round 3, I'm feeling good. Currently in the 3 seed, getting ready to make top 8 to join my buddy Sugi for Sunday. And then I sit across a very well experienced player who is playing the best starter deck, Amber Amethyst, and
I don't know if that's the best starter deck.
It is, because he happened to play Friends on the other side 6 times in both those games. So he wins.
What?
He wins.
What did he have 6 copies?
No, so the first game he played 2, because it was probably a hard mulligan, and I think he drew one on. Like he was able to play 2 in the first game, and then he put both of them back in his deck with a couple brooms. And then, yeah. So he played. Yeah, he had all the card draw, and so then I just lose. But I think it's the best. I feel it's the most consistent of. It may not be the best deck, but it is the most consistent of just like build your hand filled of small characters. Wait out your opponent, because neither opponent can draw cards. Eventually, they'll both start top decking, and then just outflank them all.
I can kind of agree with you on that, because there were multiple people who won with other color decks. So it wasn't just dominated by Amber Amethyst. I did actually go 3-0, and I did have the Amber Amethyst deck. However, my MVP was not a card that was in my color, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, the booster pack too. Also, I do believe the booster pack changed things too, because you're able to play every single card in your booster pack. So if some people just got an insane booster pack, well, they have a huge edge.
I guess we should probably clarify how that worked. So at Gen Con, they had something called continuous constructed. So you have a starter deck randomly given to you. You have the booster pack inside of the starter. You may use any card inside of the booster pack, not just a card that is relative to the 2 colors from your starter. This is going to be different for each store and each event that people are going to be playing these opening weekends. So definitely ask your local store what they're doing, because some places are going to be doing the standard constructed, where if you play Sapphire and Steel, you can only use cards that are Sapphire or Steel from your booster pack. Other stores will be doing continuous constructed, where you can put anything in. So just clarify what the policy is for the event. But some of my best cards actually were out of color. So I hit a Beast Hard-Headed in Steel.
Ooh, great
the
card.
5-drop 4/4.
Great.
So it says when you play this character, you may banish chosen items. So I was able to use him to blow out a Eye of the Fates my opponent dropped.
And there's also a card
4.
that like your deck doesn't have. Your deck doesn't have big body. So like having one just potential. Yeah. Oh, I can draw into one kind of big beefy.
Yeah. So they played Eye of the Fates on turn 4. I played Beast on turn 5 and got rid of that. That was a great tech card. I also hit the Ruby Moana, Chosen by the Ocean. This card won me a game. It's a 5-drop 2/6 with 2 pips of lore. There's a special ability that says when you play this character, you may banish chosen character name to Ka. That never came into play. Basically, I was paying 5 for a 2/6.
Oh yeah, so good.
Body.
So good.
And I played her down on a board with the actual Moana. So it was funny because you have the Ruby Moana next to the Amber Moana.
It looked funny.
So I could quest with the Ruby, then quest with the Amber, and then ready up the 2/6 Ruby. And that's just oppressive, having 2 cards quest for 5.
It's so good.
And they're both 6 willpower.
Yeah.
That is a lot to punch through.
So good.
However, the card I pulled in my booster pack that was absolutely the MVP was You Have Forgotten Me. This card, I talked about this card nonstop. It is a 4-cost action that says each opponent chooses and discards 2 cards. If you are on the play, if you're the first player, you did not draw, and you can play this card on turn 4, your opponent generally has 0 to 1 cards in their hand. Every time I play this, my opponent had 0 cards, and I won because they were top decking and I'm not top decking. Between friends on the other side, and generally you have like 2 cards in your hand.
Yeah,
they're out of gas because people mulligan for turns 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah,
when you get rid of their options for turn 4 and 5, they're toast.
Oh yeah, they got nothing. There's nothing left in the tank.
Yeah. Every time I play this card 3 times out of 7 games. I absolutely dominatingly won.
Oh, it's so good
because they just were like, draw. Can I play it? No or yes. There were multiple games where people would draw something that was non-inkable on their turn 4, and they're like, can't ink it, can't play it because it's a 5 or more.
Oh, they're in trouble.
Card.
They're in trouble.
And so they pass.
Yeah, they have to.
And so I get a free turn, and then it's just, if you see this card and you can put this card into your deck, I absolutely I stand by this card being amazing and limited.
Yes.
It's a blowout card. Even in constructed, it's a blowout card. This card is great.
Yes.
Because it does the same thing. On turn 4, it's like, hey, you don't have cards in your hand. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. And your opponent's like, I'm sorry, what? You play it and they're like, so what? Do I just have no cards? Like, what happens? Like, you discard your whole hand.
Yeah, good luck. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Goodbye.
You get to draw a card on your next turn and see if you can play it. And it's hilarious if it's like Grab Your Sword or New World. They're like, nope, pass.
Sucks to suck.
So good. So yes, I did go 3-0. I did make it to day 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk too bad about GenCon. I will say this: we got to day 2.
Mm-hmm.
We played the first round. And near the end of the first round, so I did win my first round, they revealed the prizes, and I personally got really deflated and stopped caring about the event. So, I'll set the scene. We started at 10 a.m. However, they had to check everybody in, so there's 60-something people. So that takes time. Then they announced that the product they needed for the event, because it was a sealed event, everybody got six packs.
Yeah, 4 packs and a starter deck.
No, we got 6 packs.
6 packs and starter deck. Very nice.
No,
you just got 6 packs to make a deck.
You get 6 packs to make a 40 card deck.
Yeah, that sounds
But they had to get everyone the packs, so we waited like I think an hour and a half.
Yeah, we ran out of packs, guys. There's no one left in the building.
It's kind of a blur, but I think we got. I'm like doing the math in reverse of when I just gave up and stopped caring. I think we got the packs at like 12.
So
it's like
2 hours.
It's like
just
2 hours. So we're just hanging out. Then we get no. We got 30 minutes to draft. So we ended the build at 12:45. So it's basically 1 o'clock before we ever start pairings. So then we play the first game, which goes, I think it was 50 minutes. So we started like 1 o'clock. Yeah. I think this is right. If I'm wrong and someone else remembers, that's fine. I submit to that. I was so tired. I think I slept like 2 hours the night before. I was exhausted. So yeah, we play round 1. I win. It ends at like 150, and they show us the prizes. And I poop you not. It is a random Lorcana deck box, which is like what, $5?
$6, $5.99.
Okay, 6. A random set of sleeves.
That's $7.99.
A random starter.
$16.99.
A treasure trove.
$50.
And then another copy of the GenCon mat that's signed by
all the humans,
people from Ravensburger.
The playmat's pretty sweet.
I don't care about the playmat. I already have a playmat. So we were like, is there anything else? No booster box, no promos, no alternate anything. And they're like, no. So at that point, I'm pretty deflated because it's 2 o'clock. They want us to play 2 more rounds, which means we're going to play past GenCon closing. I have a lot of local stores, and I'm a store owner myself, so I can purchase any of those items at MSRP readily. The only thing you're fighting for really is the mat and the photograph for clout.
Yes.
Which I don't care about because all my friends who were in the pod didn't get past round 1. So they're like, hey, we're going to go off and go shopping and play games. I'm like,
you got to sit there and play. You know what?
I have to sit here and play 2 rounds for $80 of product.
So here's the thing for all the listeners at home. So GenCon is an incredible experience, and I always recommend everyone going. Now, here's the dilemma, though. There are some phenomenal tournaments at GenCon, but you have to remember, they're going to eat up your entire day for that tournament, and if you do well, it's going to eat an entire half a day of your next GenCon. So, like, that's the thing. Is like everyone loves to go there and like play tournaments, but then you're missing out on GenCon. So it is a double-edged sword there.
So here's the dilemma I'm faced with. I could play out. I could try and go for it, but we all know that for out of 8 packs, you could pull nothing.
Yeah, totally.
You could play out and get quite literally nothing. Now I can hear people saying, what about the playmat? I mean, like, I don't want to sell it. I guess I want to keep, I don't know. I already have a playmat. Like, I'm getting a duplicate of something I already have, and mine's already signed. I can get it signed. That's not a problem. Like, Ryan and Steve are really nice people, because people are speculating, like, are they not allowed to sign stuff? I'm like, yeah, they've been signing stuff all weekend. They're not going to not sign your playmat. So if you want a signed playmat, you can go get it signed right now.
Yep.
So I sat down at round 2. I didn't care. I really couldn't care less, because I was just so, like, I was like, I just wanted like a bot. I wanted something more for the time.
I know.
So yeah, since all my friends were leaving to go do fun stuff, and I had no interest in any of the prize support, I just kind of threw the game. I think we played maybe 8 minutes we played 2 games, and I was just like, cool, you win. I drop, I'm out, I'm leaving. And I went and did other GenCon. I played some more Star Wars Unlimited. I got to buy some stuff. Also, I should probably clarify, I also worked GenCon for a couple days. So my GenCon was play on Thursday, hang out with friends Thursday. I played on Thursday, did a bunch of interviews on Thursday, went to the unofficial meetup on Thursday night. Friday I worked, Saturday I worked, Sunday I played. And just in the back of my mind, it's like, I haven't had any time to go buy anything or go shopping or just go see the con.
That's my favorite part. This is my first Gen Con I actually attended, Sugi, where I like the Lorcana starter deck challenge. I really didn't even count that. Like this is like the first time I went to Gen Con with like no intention to play like any major tournaments.
Yeah. So in my head, I'd rather spend my time with friends and shopping and enjoying the con rather than playing more rounds. So yeah, I basically dropped. I didn't care. So I went. I won my day one. I went 1-0, and then I went 1-1 and dropped. So, but overall, the convention was a lot of fun.
You're going back next year?
No, I'm not going back.
Why? You can drive here. Chat, listen, listeners, make Sugi go to Gen Con, start the petition, whatever that Twitter thing is, make a hashtag for it.
I'm getting married, bro.
Oh, that's right. Time off. Whatever.
I'm honeymooning with my beautiful bride for 2+ weeks. I'm using all my vacation time to spend with her.
Man, you're gonna.
However, we are building in a trip in the honeymoon to go to a Disney park.
Okay.
So we may or may not do some Lorcana there. But yeah, all my vacation time is going to the honeymoon. And I'm also going to Adepticon in Chicago. So all of my con and PTO is completely called for.
Man, choosing Adepticon over Gen Con?
Yeah.
Crazy person. Crazy person. But I love him regardless.
First of all, I know more people at Adepticon. Second of all, I work in the miniature business. Third of all, there are going to be some massive announcements. I don't know anything. I don't have insider information. But last year, all the companies were like, "You're going to want to be here for 2024 because we're going to announce new games,
like new games for miniatures, right?" Okay, yeah, like Warhammer.
So 2024 is actually more pertinent to both my career and my hobby than Gen Con.
There we go. I love it.
So unfortunately, I have to make a decision, and I'm going with the one that's relative to my livelihood.
This is true. This is true.
Also, I mean, I only have so much time, and that I'm not mad at honeymooning for 2.5 weeks.
No, never a problem.
But that means I also don't have 2.5 weeks to go to Gen Con.
We will in spirit. We'll have to FaceTime you in for our
or the money.
That's true, dude. It gets expensive quick, my friend. But yeah, we'll have to FaceTime in for the massive Gen Con Lorcana tournament and release of all the cool swag.
So I'll put it into perspective. We were planning on going to Maui, which is unfortunately not a thing. No, the island that just burned down.
Oh no!
Very tragic.
Jesus.
So we are planning on spending a good chunk of money for a really nice honeymoon.
Okay.
So again, Gen Con is expensive. Gen Con eats up time, and I'm allocating all that to honeymooning.
Yep.
So maybe in 2025.
All right, sounds good. We'll shoot for it. But Gen Con next year is going to be crazy.
You and Chris can hold down the fort.
We will. It's going to be crazy with Lorcana and then Unlimited.
I will take pictures of myself on the beach with a Dole Whip, just chilling out on a great relaxing honeymoon on the islands of wherever we pick out now. We have to pivot because all the places we were going to book kind of burned down.
Yes,
so
you got to pick a new place.
It's really unfortunate, but we have to completely reset all of our honeymoon plans. So I was like, yeah, it was a great Gen Con. And then I get home and my fiance is like, "Hey, I have bad news." I'm like, "Yeah, what?" She's like, "It's about the honeymoon." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, Maui doesn't exist." I was like, "What?"
No longer a place.
Well, like at Gen Con, I totally checked out from the real world.
Well, dude,
like
you have to. Yeah.
I was totally oblivious to anything that wasn't Lorcana at Gen Con. So she's like, "Yeah, there's like a huge fire and everything." I was like, did I step into an alternate dimension? Seriously? And she shows me these videos and I was like,
that's insane.
Uh-oh. And like they literally were showing one of the hotels we were looking at booking. I'm like, oh,
it's on fire.
That is not good.
No bueno.
So yeah, all of our months of planning have been kind of pushed back a little bit.
Makes sense. So,
needless to say, Gen Con is not in the cards for me next year.
All good. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. But this has been we've talked about everything in this episode.
Oh, before we go, give some tips to listeners about how to pilot the Ruby Emerald deck. And then I also have some tips for the Steel Sapphire deck because I played that at my local Learn to Play / deck challenge tournament thingamabob. So that way, if people are listening to this and they're going to do a starter deck event, we can give them some tools for their tool belt on what to do.
Okay. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay, don't pick that deck.
Are you, dude? That's my favorite deck. Don't. No, you are a bad man.
I am a hater. So all right, so
you are a hater.
Of course I'm a hater.
Why?
I did not
Why are you a hater?
I think it's okay. It's just okay. You start.
That is Chris's job. Chris is the hater. You're not a hater. You're
so at the end of the day, the Ruby Emerald, you're gonna want to. It's one of the things you like. If you don't know how to mulligan properly, you're gonna lose that game. Like you need to hard mulligan for certain cards.
Every deck.
No.
That's yes.
No. Amber Amethyst, you don't need to mulligan as hard as you do for
Yes, you do. And you do for Steel Sapphire. Come on, get out of here.
So the thing is with Steel Sapphire, you have options. You have Detective Mickey, one jump ahead Tala. You can get three different options to get the
You have to find them. They're not just gonna pop out and be like, hey man, I'm just in your hand.
But that's the engine for the Amber Amethyst. I mean, you have the Maleficent, you have the friend on the other side, you have the brooms, you have Mickey. Like there's different like win conditions. Like for the Emerald Ruby, it's much harder because at the end of the day, like, all right, you can go for the Aladdin, but he's kind of squishy. But then you need the shield to bring him back up, and then you just hard mulligan for the evasive cards only, and hopefully you're not playing steel where the fire the cannons.
I mean, Pongo just ruins people's day. If he goes unchecked,
but I mean, like if they pull out a Flotsam or a Jetsam, or if they have the smash. I mean, there's ways. So yeah, basically for the Ruby Emerald, you want a hard mulligan for the evasive cards and or like
Mad Hatter.
Yeah, Mad Hatter or like things like that. Otherwise, like I personally feel like because there's no draw in it. There's no draw, so you're gonna at one point you're gonna be top decking. So you need to make sure your curve is right, and that's where the hard mulligan comes in. Or like, all right, you need to make sure you have cards to play.
Steel Sapphire is gonna be top decking.
Yeah, but they also have like 10 resources, so they're gonna
so.
That versus your hopefully 6,
bro. I played against an opponent who had Steel Sapphire. They had 8 resources. I am sweating the Maui, and they draw a coconut basket. Like you can dead draw so hard in that card.
This is true.
Like there's so many options where it's just like and then another game he drew a ransack and he's like
you just lose that game. Yeah, you lose that.
You could draw frying pan, ransack.
Yes.
What else? Magic golden flower, coconut basket. There's so many dead draws.
There are, but that's why the mulligan for that game. Like just make sure you have a big character in your hand.
No, I know, but you're saying like, oh, you're top decking. Like so is every other deck. Like
I mean, Amber Amethyst not as often.
There's only 3 friends on the other side out of 60 cards.
Yeah, I mean
it's not guaranteed.
It's 1 in 20. You look at 7 cards and you mulligan again, get another 7 cards. You're almost there. You know what I mean? Like the odds of finding them a little easier. But that's just me. Emerald Ruby. Right. You're looking for the evasive cards. You're looking for the Mad Hatter. And then you're looking like the Dragonfire, Mother Gothel. That's kind of hard to keep in your opening hand because they're both non-inkable cards. Like
there's no Mother Gothel.
Oh no, the not the card
Mother knows best.
Yes, the card with her on there, where it's 3 to put the card back in your opponent's hand. So the Dragonfire is really nice.
One of the best cards in your deck.
Yes, so that's good. The Dragonfire is good, but the thing is, like having them in your opening hand is not terrible. But they're also, you got to remember, you can't ink them, so you
can't ink.
So like having them in your opening hand is fine. But maybe not one of each. Maybe keep the Mother. Maybe like choose. Like it's definitely a much more challenging deck in my opinion.
I agree. It is a more skillful deck to pilot, but I think this deck has all the answers pretty comfortably to anything. You just have to get there. Also, we did see multiple people get to top 8 with this deck, so it's not impossible. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's Amber Amethyst, the best deck." Like this deck has beaten Amber Amethyst. It can be done. You've got Lore Denial through Aladdin Street Rat and Rapunzel. You can use Aladdin to challenge and banish. You get 2, they lose 2. You can use Shield of Virtue to ready up Aladdin so he's safe for another round. I mean, you can also do that with Pongo. You can quest and then ready. You've got Mad Hat. You've got so many good toys in this list. I agree. It is more complex to pilot. But at the end of the day, it can win. It has won.
Oh yeah,
it's done
of course,
very well.
But if you're like choose your options, I'm gonna choose Amber Amethyst every time.
Okay, that's fair. All right, and then the last deck we're gonna talk about is Sapphire Steel. So first off, let's talk about mulligans. You want to see ramp in your hand. So your options are 2 of Grandma Tala, 3 of Mickey Mouse Detective. And then I believe, there's 2 copies of 1 Jump Ahead. So you want to see 1 or 2 of those cards. And then you want to see something to play after you ramp. So if you can get a Maleficent Uninvited or a Mufasa, something that's a nice big lore battery, that's a great option. Or you can also go for the uninkable 5-drop Rightful Heir Simba. He's the 3/5 character that says during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 1 lore.
Yep.
So you can have a nice beater on your board that both
Still gains you
challenges
lore.
and
Yeah.
gains lore at the same time. You can also try and set up like a double small play where you ramp out with like Mickey, and then you play a Grandma Tala, and then maybe a Captain Hook.
Yep.
So you can use the Hook as a removal piece
Captain
and
Hook
the
really good
Tala
early game.
as a use the Tala as a ramp. Captain Hook's a great response to so many things early game, like
it's
Olaf.
It's a 3/2 for 1.
Yeah, he just chumps so many things. He's also a great swing into the mirror match.
Yeah.
If they play a Hercules, you just don't care.
Goodbye, Hercules.
Kristoff, he eats Kristoff for lunch. There's a lot of things.
It's a
Captain Hook is
3/2 for
good
1. You just leave up to just be like, are you going to do anything? No, cool. Pass.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
I in my games, I try and keep a removal piece, so fire the cannons or smash, just because turn 1 you can get rid of their turn 1, turn 2 you play a thing.
Yep.
You ramp with like one of the games I played, turn 1 I used cannons to get rid of their Pascal. Turn 2 I 1 jump ahead. Turn 3 I Mickey Mouse. Turn 4 I can smash and play Flounder or develop your brain or Captain Hook, or like a bunch of options in your deck, and you're slowly establishing your board and then keeping your opponent off kilter. And then you're 1 ink ahead, so you can get your 5 drops out on 4, your 6 drops out on 5. If you ramp out again with another card, then you're really in the game, because now you can start playing. You get closer to Maui, and it scares people. It's just got a lot of gas. You got to mulligan hard for ramp, because you don't want to see those ramp cards late game. You want to see them early game.
Correct.
So you can put threats on the board ASAP.
Yep.
Develop Your Brain is also a great card. If you can't get the pieces you want and you see it in your opening hand, it's worth keeping, because it's a way to extend your reach, just to see a little bit more of what's coming.
Yep.
It replaces itself, so it's not card advantage per se, but it is filtering. So you play the Develop Your Brain, you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, you put 1 in your hand and 1 at the bottom of your deck. So it replaces itself, but it allows you to see 2 additional tools and pick which one of those is the best. And then on your next turn after you play Develop Your Brain, you get to draw a new fresh card you didn't see. So essentially, over the course of a turn, you've gone through 3 cards. Not bad.
No,
Again,
it's a win.
A very powerful card.
It's a win. It's definitely it just especially in that deck, since the deck has no draw. It's your only opportunity to actually look at cards.
Right. If you know that you're playing against Amber Amethyst in round 2, try and mulligan for Grab Your Sword. That card just ruins their day.
Or more
play.
Captain Hooks.
Yeah, Captain Hooks or Grab Your Sword are fantastic responses. What else did I find was really good? I'm not a big fan of Aurora Briar Rose. She's useful.
She's fine.
She's great for protecting Captain Hook against small things.
Right, temporarily.
She's also great at protecting Prince Eric. He's a 1/3, so if you reduce their damage output by 2, generally Prince Eric survives the trade.
Yep.
So now your opponent has to challenge and banish him, so he doesn't ready up and do it again. And that means that character that challenged is not questing, which is good for you. Simba Return King is disgusting if you can hit him. He's a 4/6 with Challenger +4.
Oh, so good.
So he can one-shot a counter Maui.
Yes.
And during your turn, he gains evasive. So he's like one of your limited answers to the evasive package.
So good.
We've kind of talked about the nuts and bolts of the deck. Aurora Dreaming Guardian, she's really good in the mirror against cannons and smash if you can shift her up.
Yes.
But if you're not playing the mirror match, I don't really mulligan hard for her, honestly. There's other better tools. I'd rather have like the 3/3 Jasmine and just quest on command and hide her behind like a Hercules, if at all possible, or even the 4-drop Maleficent, the Sinister Visitor. She's a 3/4 with 2 lore, that 4 pip of willpower, that extra 1 willpower is very, very, very good. Very powerful.
It's just the little things that can swing a game.
Yeah, usually it means your opponent has to challenge with 2 characters. I will say I've seen Frying Pan win a game. I haven't used it, but I saw someone force a character. I think they said the Simba couldn't challenge, so they weren't able to get rid of enough bodies so that the person using the Frying Pan they had enough lore on their board that the opponent couldn't shut him out. Frying Pan is really situational. I'm not super hot on that card. I usually drop it for something in the booster pack. Coconut Basket has been helpful. You do have a lot of bodies and quite a few low to the ground ones. So you can get some value out of Coconut Basket. It's not like the MVP. Like I usually drop Golden Flower, Coconut Basket, and Frying Pan for anything else. But if you had to pick one to keep, I would probably keep Basket over Flower and Pan because you can get healing and you can send it to the Inkwell. It's a very useful tool. But yeah, your goal early game is get some ramp, hit some big bodies. If you just can't hit the big bodies, you've got some great lore batteries like Aurora, Regal Princess, the 2-drop. She's a 2 ink character, 2/2 with 2 pips of lore. Then you follow up with Jasmine. She's a 3 with 3/3 for 2 lore. Then you follow up with Maleficent on turn 4. She's a 3/4 for 4 with 2 lore. And you just quest and the opponent has to respond. Like you're gaining so much lore. If you get a Hercules to hide these batteries behind, go for it. Because then you can just like if you can't ramp, then slow roll. If you can slow roll and win, go for it. If you can ramp and win, go for it. You've got a lot of different engines and a lot of different tempo speeds you can play. And it's kind of nice because you can play the slow game, you can play the fast game. You get to pick.
But that's the thing, right? Where it's just the opportunities and the options on how you want to play the game out versus what you're playing against.
Yeah. This deck has lots of tools, lots of answers. You've got literally the best counter against Amber Amethyst with Grab Your Swords. You can just, blow out all the small bodies. You can answer Emerald and Ruby with ramping just massive bodies, and they probably can't catch up to you.
No,
probably. We say probably. Yeah. Ruby Emerald has some big punching bodies too. Like Rapunzel's a 5/4. Stitch is a 4/6, Aladdin is a 5/5. You've got removal with Dragon's Fire, and you also have little combat tricks like he's got a sword, which gives you +2. You've got that stolen scimitar, which gives +1, or if Aladdin gets +2. You've got the Stampede, like Vicious Betrayal, you can get +2 or +3. Like Emerald Ruby can punch up really hard if they want to.
But that's the thing, right? It's just like, how do you want to play the deck out? And that's the thing. It's the great part of options and play style and things like that.
Yeah, all the decks, like at the end of the day, it really comes down to pilot skill and luck. Like I'll be the first one to admit, like I won top 8. There was a lot of luck. There were people who made misplays. There were people who top decked and didn't get what they needed.
And a lot of first timers. A lot of first timers playing the game.
There's a lot of first timers playing the game. There were times I top decked and I drew exactly what I needed. Like there's a lot of risk management in these starter deck games because like these starter decks are not meant to be consistent.
Yep.
They're meant to be played for fun at home with friends and family and loved ones.
Yep.
So like until you get into constructed decks that have built-in consistency, you're really just you're just going to have fun and go in with an understanding of if you didn't win with your starter deck, that doesn't mean you're a bad player. If you did win, that doesn't mean you're the best player in the room.
Right.
You did well, you sequenced properly, you played the best you could, and you got lucky. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Once we get to constructed and formal tournaments and events where there's hundreds of people playing, kind of like, Magic GTs, that's when we're really going to see who the best players are, what the best decks are. But yeah, if you're going to an event with these decks, my recommendation is go and have fun. Don't stress about if you win or if you don't win. Like I said, there's luck. There's a lot of luck to it. have fun. I think if you go in and have fun and do your best, you'll really enjoy it versus I've seen people on social media who are like, oh man, I scrubbed out and I played and lost and I don't know if I like this game or not. It's like, I don't know, maybe you're a little too hard on yourself there because, you know, these decks are not consistent.
Oh,
the mulligan's the only thing that saves you, honestly.
So true.
And even then, you might not mulligan into what you want. Like,
so true. So a truer thing has never been said, my friend.
All right, let's do one last thing. Let's go back to TCG Player. Do you still have it open?
I do. Yeah, of course.
What
do you think I've been doing this whole time?
Let's go to price high and low. Let's see what we're looking at here. If any of the prices have shifted. So we'll just start at the legendary non-enchanted. Let's see if Rapunzel's sitting at $49, or has she changed? I'm refreshing right now.
No, still 49.
Okay. Any changes since we talked? Is Belle still in that? What is it? 36?
No, 37 now.
Ooh,
Yep.
Belle's going up.
Yep.
Very interesting. Okay. All right. I see you.
Yep. Still $20 for the 20 for the Tink, 27 for the Hades, 33 for the Maleficent. Which for me, I thought that was a nice surprise for the Maleficent. Get some love, being like one of the most expensive cards in the game.
She's really good in a ramp package.
Yes.
All right. Let's look at page 2. See if anything's shifted here.
I don't think anything.
Hayes at 27. Did BLT Mickey go down? No, he's
The
he's
Maleficent is market price $11 now.
Oh, Stitch went up. He went up to 14. Lilo dropped to, well, she dropped 5 cents. Ooh.
Yeah, still 13 for.
Maleficent went up. She's 11.35.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
She
Maleficent
was
went up to
10.
11
Okay.
now. Yep.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, John Silver dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
Fishbone Quill went up. Huh. Yep. Anyways, going back to what we're saying, this money market is just crazy Wild West. If you have the money and you like the numbers, go for it. If you're willing to wait until like October 1st, things will probably bottom out and become a little bit more stabilized in 30 days, I think.
Yep. I agree.
Ooh, Gantu dropped. Beyond, like Beast went up, Gantu went down.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Gantu, I feel, gets the least love of all the legendaries.
He's just so tricky.
That's the thing, is I feel out of all the legendaries, I feel he gets the least amount of love, sitting at that $3.
Mother Gothel went up 50 cents.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's a good card. If exerted, your opponent can't do anything, or they can't quest.
Yeah, they can't do anything.
Yeah,
like,
insane, right? Super good.
She's one of my favorites.
Yep.
We also built a deck around her with that. Did you see that hand control deck?
No, I didn't see that one yet.
Okay, so basically you play Sudden Chill turn 2. Here's what you can do. You play a thing on turn 1. You play Flynn Rider on turn 2. Turn 3, you use him to sing Sudden Chill, so your opponent loses a card.
Yep.
You play a 3-drop, so probably Cheshire Cat.
Yep.
And then turn 4, you hit them with You Have Forgotten Me, and they've lost 3 cards out of their hand.
Oh, and then you're in trouble.
And now they're top decking, and you've still got stuff to do.
And basically, as long as you don't, like, basically you've won the game. Like, if you have like 4 cards in hand and they're top decking, you should have it.
So here's the other nasty thing. You've got 2 bodyguards in Amber. You've got Simba.
Yep, and then Maximus.
And Maximus. Oh no, that's right. You play Maximus over Goofy.
Yes.
So you play Maximus on turn 5, and then you play Mother Gothel on turn 6, and it's okay. You are also running 4 copies of Sudden Chill and 4 copies of You Have Forgotten Me. So if your opponent has a card in their hand that they don't play, and you have another Sudden Chill, you just play it and get it out of their hand immediately.
Exactly.
So they just kind of don't get to play the game.
No, it's insane, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah. Also, because Sudden Chill is a song, you can again exert Flynn
Yes.
to sing it for free.
Yes.
And then
the best part.
Yeah, so turn 4, you play You Have Forgotten Me, they lose 2 cards. Turn 5, if they drew it and don't play it, you can play your Maximus with Bodyguard and then sing with Flynn Rider.
Yeah, you're like,
and
have
they
a great
don't
game.
have a card again. They're just like,
have a great game. Thank you for joining us today. You go home now.
You also have John Silver in there. If they go wide, you could just pop him down and start making things reckless into
Yep.
Maximus. And you also have a spicy Rapunzel package where you can challenge into things and then heal and then draw cards.
Yep, it's a win. It's a win.
It's a hilarious deck. I am so excited to play it at locals and see what happens.
It's gonna be good, my friend. It's gonna be good. I can't wait, bud.
All right.
Can't wait.
So yeah, we have a video on that. We have a deck list you can check out. We'll put it in the show notes. But anyways, we are going to be doing a ton of deck building. We're going to be doing a bunch of budget decks. A lot of people have been asking about that. I think it's kind of fun to play budget decks because there's a lot of powerful commons, uncommons, and rares in this. I genuinely don't think you need legendaries to win games. I really don't.
Well, especially if you look at legendaries we have right now, like the playable ones for competitive, you're looking like the Rapunzel will see play, the Belle will see play, Elsa will see play, Hades will see play, and that's kind of about it. Like people might tech in.
I think Silver is going to see play as well as Carefree Surfer.
I feel people would play the other Stitch over the Surfer because of the shift ability. That's just my opinion.
The shift is good. You could play Surfer in a stall deck or a ramp deck.
That's true. That is true. You can definitely do that. But yeah, I think like that's the thing. Like the cards right now are kind of reflecting the playability of certain decks right now, which is why like
Ursula's going to get found. I'm confident there's going to be a deck with Ursula that's disgusting.
I feel there will be, but right now it's when you play this character, they're just losing one lore. So I mean, like you get the same ability.
But you draw a card. She's a 2/8.
Right. So she's not going to be attacking anything.
No, but she's got the health
of a hang out. She's basically just going to hang out on a quest every turn. But by the turn
she's
7, you should. It basically. Have you won the game, or you're just trying to play? It's just interesting. It's just very interesting.
Yeah, but in the ramp, in the Belsa ramp, you can play her on turn 5.
Yeah.
That's where it gets scary. It's like here's a 2/8, the quest for 3. You lose a lore, I draw a card.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
Can you get rid of her? So far, the answer has been no. Like I said, I'm going to keep testing, but every time I've gotten her on the board, my opponent's just like I can't. And here's the other problem: while she's on the board, they're not dealing with my Mickey who's singing songs.
Yeah.
They're not dealing with my Belle who's giving me extra ink drops. And then after I play Ursula, I'm going to play like a Mufasa. I'm going to keep following up with massive threats. And like, again, like I said, unless they hit a be prepared, it's just really hard to stop a turn 5 Ursula.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yes. And that we should save that conversation for another meta deck episode.
Yeah, we will definitely talk about tournament decks once we have tournaments.
Yes, agreed.
And we need more cards in the pool. We need more players playing. We need more data points.
Yes.
So that way we can start to actively pick out what the decks are, how the decks work. But we'll talk about that in the future.
Agreed,
it's exciting.
my friend. Agreed.
But go out to locals. Go play for fun, go trade, go collect, go enjoy Lorcana being available right now at your friendly local game store for the most part. Unless you're on the West Coast, I know there was a distribution issue, but that should be figuring itself out this upcoming week at the time of this podcast going live.
Yep.
So theoretically, by the time you're listening to this, it shouldn't really matter.
No.
Give or take.
But
that is the best advice I can give. We had a lot of people ask, what is the best advice for opening weekend? What should I do? What should I buy? What should I sell? What should I trade? My best advice is go have fun.
Yep.
This game is going to be around for a long time.
Go play games.
Go play games.
Go play games.
Go have fun.
Go crack packs, play games.
Worry about all that stuff later.
Exactly. Yeah. But we'll be here with that information if you need it or not.
We will. And as we get on out of here, thank you for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube at LorcanaCast. On YouTube, we're with Lorcana HQ. We'll have everything in the show notes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you next time. Remember, as always, Ohana means family, which means nobody gets left behind and nobody gets forgotten.
Just like you